So I was watching the Graham Stephan show, the Iced Coffee Hour a while ago. And there's a pickup artist on that show. Well, not a pickup artist, somebody, I guess, who used to teach guys how to meet women and how to break free of their fears and become the type of person that they want to be their best selves, so to speak. And part of the idea that goes along with that, you often hear, is be yourself. And I wanted to talk about what being yourself really means. There are people in existence who call themselves incels, involuntary celibate guys, I guess. And unfortunately, they've been in the news over the last number of years, the last decades or so, because half decade or so, because people who call themselves incels have been involved in at least one mass shooting. And I saw a documentary on these guys, and most of these guys are mainly, they have to really worry about themselves more than anybody else. Because in this documentary, basically they committed suicide, I guess because they felt so worthless and unloved, and they weren't the type of people or the community of people who might go out and do these things en masse, for example. These things have happened, but it's not a common thing in the community, I would say, based on the people that were featured in the documentary. Now, the reason why I talk about this is because in the documentary itself, one of the guys was saying that, a lot of people, when you tell them about your situation, they might say, well, yeah, just be yourself. But the thing is that the people who are saying just be yourself are people who their natural selves are already in a state where they can attract women. They're already, to some degree, self-confident or popular or whatever the case might be. And these people might have their own individual insecurities, but from the outside, it doesn't look like that. And they might have their own problems, but from the outside, you don't see that. You just see them laughing and smiling in a group of people, talking and going to parties and having fun and all of this other stuff. So the people who are incels, at least this one guy was talking, and I can understand where he's coming from. The idea is yourself. You're already being yourself. Most of these people, they're already being themselves, and it isn't working for them. But in addition to that, the problem is that they don't have confidence. That's the difference. And I guess that's my point. If you're being yourself, that doesn't mean that yourself is going to put you in a place where you are an involuntarily celibate person, for example. And I guess that could be a man or a woman, but for women, you don't have to have too much confidence. Guys are going to approach you, period. If you're a guy, girls are not going to approach you. That's not what they do. And whenever they try to do it, in my experience, if it turns out badly, they say that's the last time I'm going to do that, and they're done with it. And it's fine, whether it's on Tinder or OkCupid or anywhere, girls are always going to be approached. And the problems that platforms and girls in general have is too many people approaching them, too many people talking to them, to the point where they have this B shield, is what can be said. Girls that are 10s, on a 1 to 10 scale in terms of attractiveness, they end up being like having that B, female dog screen, which is they're just overwhelmed. So that's the idea, that they're overwhelmed. So they are mean to some people, and the people who have the self-confidence to get through that are the people who are going to, have an opportunity to have a relationship with these girls. But overall, the whole point that I'm trying to say is that what separates the incels from the people that they call the chads, the people who actually have the girls and the confidence and a car and whatever else that an incel, involuntary celibate person might think they want, is that self-confidence to say, I don't care what you think, I'm gonna be me and I'm gonna have fun and whatever. And that's the bottom line. I think you be yourself. The reason why it's easier, I guess, to be yourself, because you don't have anything to remember. You don't have to remember what you told people the last time. You don't have to worry that you're going to get caught up in any kind of subterfuge or deception, because it's the same thing. It's the truth. So there's nothing to remember. And even if you decide that you want to disguise who you are, the problem with that is that you would be putting yourself in an environment where you would not feel at home, because they're not going to accept you, I guess you think. So you are never going to feel comfortable, completely comfortable. You're always going to have that distraction, that thing on your mind that you have to put up this face and this front. And beyond that, I think what the guy on the Iced Coffee Hour was saying is that there are going to be some people who love you. And if you have, or if you can sum up the courage to go looking for those people, yes, you're going to run into people who don't like you, who don't want you around, who hate you. But if you can get past all of those people and find the people who like you, that's what we all want. That's what we're all trying to find. And more likely than not, those people are out there. If you take the time to look for those people, and then you can be yourself around them for the rest of your life, and you know that you have either, a mate or a friend or whoever these people are, and you've already gone through what you need to go through, and it's in the past, and now you have realized, you've self-actualized, and you've met the people who are your tribe. And I guess that's the idea. There's no way around looking for those people and trying to find them, and meeting people who don't like you, don't like what you stand for, they just don't like you. There's no real way to get around that. I mean, you might be born into a family, and you might, by virtue of that fact, have people who maybe do like you, but sometimes even family members don't like you. So, there's that. What can you do? And that I think is the idea for be yourself. Nobody's saying that everything will be better if you be yourself. Nobody's saying that it fixes everything. Nobody's saying that friends and girlfriends will come up to you and start talking to you. But be yourself is a bedrock. It's a strong foundation from which you can start to build. And the building is looking for the friends and the girlfriends and the wives. Then, at that point, the people who will be loyal to you at that point, once you're confident with yourself, then you can go looking for those people. If you're not confident with yourself and you go looking for those people, what is supposed to happen, really? I mean, at the end of the day, you may find yourself just happen to be with people who tolerate you, and you never learned to build up that thick skin that you need to find your people. That's not a really good end. If you can be comfortable with yourself and then go looking for your people, and you can get through the difficulties of finding them, then you know that you have something that is going to last. And that's what I think the idea of being yourself is all about. All right, see ya.